Today's conversation is really about being selfish. And I think if we were to have a thesis statement for this, is to say that the more selfish we can be when it comes to taking care of our needs and our desires and wants, the more we can give to others. And our guest today has been here before. He's a friend of mine. Is a 7-time author, Baylor? I can't keep up. Okay. Okay. He also works with organizations, individuals when it comes to mindset and performance development. And so just really good at giving really good strategic information and takeaways. And so Baylor, let's get this conversation started when it comes to being super selfish. Like what's that all about?
Now I'm an angel here, so selfish is a new concept to me, No, but seriously though, when you hear the word selfish, people automatically, it's one of those, I don't know why, but as a society, we've developed this, like, I don't want to be that. It's like when people call you crazy, like, I don't want to be that. But what I started to realize, I do a lot of research. I'm not a smart person in the traditional sense. I just look at people that are successful and see what they do. And to realize, I said, man, a lot of people are really on the outside look like they're selfish. And me myself, like when I first got into speaking, I've been doing this for 12 years. I was doing a lot of relationship, a lot of depression, anti-talks like that. And I would be up for 20 hours a day talking to every fan, everything I could. Because, we always believe like if you do the right thing and help enough people, then, you get help, right? And so like Jasmin said, a lot of us have servant hearts in here. And so I was over here just running myself ragged, trying to help people. And then one day the realization kind of hit me. I said, am I helping people that really want to be helped? Or am I giving my time to people that enjoy wasting it? And it's a big thing. If you're honest with yourself, a lot of what you do to try to help other people, it's not that they want, we all have that one friend that always calls us for advice and they'll never take our advice. And I started to realize in so many areas of my time or of my life, I'm just leaking time. I'm leaking energy because I'm trying to put other people first. But at a certain point, putting other people first is not putting them first. It's putting yourself at the back of the pack. You're in this chat right now because you want to move forward in life and you want to help the most people. I had she's a real prominent public figure. I was talking to her about it because I was getting burnt out with just trying to help everybody on an individual basis. And what she told me, I want to tell you, she said, Baylor, not everybody's job is to help one-on-one. Some of our job is to create the platform. Some of us have to create the platform so that other people can fill in and fit in the pieces and do the one-to-ones. And I'm telling you that because everybody in this chat today is a platform creator. Everybody in here has something bigger than just them, right? And you have to embrace that. In order to do that, you have to start embracing and looking at this word selfish a little bit differently. How I go about doing that, how in my life and how I talk to people is understanding, I'm a simple guy, I told you. The shortest distance between 2 points we know is A to B. And I'm pretty sure everybody's seen a palm tree, right? Palm trees are pretty simple. They come out of the ground, they go straight up, and then they spread their leaves, right? See, the problem with, and again, don't go say, yeah, this Baylor guy talked today and he said, don't help nobody. That's not what I'm saying. What I am telling you is this, is if you will focus on yourself enough to get to the top of whatever it is you want, and then spread your branches, you can help so many more people than you can if you go laterally left to right. Think about how much time and energy you spend every day helping people here, helping your boss here, helping your coworker here, helping a family member here, helping him. And by the end of the day, where are they at? They're going home at 5 o'clock because they're finished with their task that you did. And do they ever say thank you? I'm not saying there's not a lot of grateful people, but if we look at that every single day over the course of a long amount of time, how much further would you be if you put all your eggs into the vertical basket? I've spent the last few years trying to do just that. A mentor of mine was the one that told me, said, Baylor, you have to think like a palm tree. He said, palm trees go up vertically. They don't focus on anything else. They don't focus on growing branches. They don't focus on side to side. But as a result, he said, you're going to meet the people that you need to meet along the way. And then when you get to the top, you can help so many more people. So if your goal, people having a hard time embracing selfishness is say, well, I want to help people. What I'm telling you is this, is by going vertical, you can help create a platform that can help infinitely more people than the 5 people that are wasting your time every day. And you might be thinking to yourself, you know, we're all like inundated with these burdens, right? Like we have the burden of family, we have the burden of all the chores and all the responsibilities we do. A lot of us have the burden of trying to embrace like selfishness by itself. It's, I can't do that, but it's heavy, right? But if you look at a palm tree, what I love about palm trees, the seed of a palm tree can weigh up to 66 pounds. That's a heavy burden. So right now, I'm telling you this, if you're carrying stress, if you're carrying anxiety, if you're carrying worry, whatever it is that you're carrying this morning, that's a big seed. But that big seed can be converted and turned into something great. So what I want you to do today is to take that seed, take that burden, take whatever it is that you have on your shoulders that's stressing you out and say, I'm going to plant that today. Because today, starting right now, I'm a palm tree. Today, starting now, I owe it to myself. I owe it to the people I love. I owe it to the people I care about to go as vertically, as fast as possible so that I can create shade for my entire village, my entire tribe, my entire family, whatever it is. And, you know,
Baylor, so for a second, can everyone, because I know you guys are putting comments in the chats, can you think about what is this, if we think about the 60-pound seed he's talking about that's weighing us down, but actually could be our greatest advantage. What do you have right now? Just think about this and feel free to share it in the chat or speak up if you like, that is weighing you down. Because I think it's important, and Baylor, sometimes, you know, when we're going through life, and I know a lot of us have children, we have a lot of responsibilities. This is why we kind of stop and pause at the beginning of these, is because if you're moving so fast and have so many things going on, you don't even know sometimes that you've got a certain burden. You don't, it's just like someone could be sick or have an illness and not even know it, and until it actually stops them cold in the tracks. So I think the first thing would be to actually identify what it is that burden, right?
Well, yes and no. I think it's good if you can identify it. What I am saying is, I don't think we have to spend so much time identifying it. You just have to know it's there. Like I just recently found out what's called a kitchen sink soup, or whatever. You just take everything in your kitchen sink or everything in your fridge and just try to put it all together to make meals. I found about that recently. You can kind of create burden the same way. You don't have to sit there and spend your whole day deciding everything that's going wrong or everything that you're feeling. Just know that you're feeling it. And so you can just package all of that up and say, I'm going to make a soup. I'm going to throw all this in the crock pot of growth and just see what it turns into, right? But just knowing that it's there enough, the important thing is that I think that we bury it, right? Because that's where seeds grow, right? So, but in doing that, I don't like to just talk in analogies and a standpoint, but I was like, how do we do that, right? So I have a little 3-step process. And if you're today trying to figure out how you're going to palm tree your life, right? How to have these palm tree principles. And I have this little 3-letter acronym, WIN, because I love winning. Like I'm addicted to it. Like there's no like AA or anonymous for winning, but I just love to do it. But this process, and we'll go over it, but it's wonder, immerse, and necessitate. And this is what I mean. When you sit there right now, like you might be thinking to yourself, like you have to ask yourself, I wonder what it would be like to actually hit the goals that I have. I wonder what it would be to be this powerful woman or this powerful man. I wonder what it would be to be this 200-foot palm tree. I wonder what it would be to be Oprah, to be this powerful. And it has to start there because you have to allow your mind to think possibilities. Too often we think, I'll see it as I go. But that's not how dreams work. That's not how goals work. You have to be able to just visualize what it could be. You know, they say from the bottom of Mount Everest, you can't see the top of Mount Everest. And if you just went every step saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You'll never get there. But if you just wonder, you know, what is it like to be at the top of the tallest peak on the earth? You start to think differently. There's science that backs this. So in your life, I want you to do today is take the different buckets of your life, whether it's, you know, we don't all have the same goals. It might be career goals, relationship goals, health goals. You know, wonder what it would be like to be your absolute fittest self. Wonder what it'd be like to have the flourishing business and you're on Forbes 40 under 40 or the Forbes list or whatever it may be. You have to wonder first. Next, that's the W. You have to immerse yourself in it. And notice I said immerse. And what I mean by that is some people, you know, get to the ledge of life. You know, we get to the edge of the pool. We want to like put our feet in to see if it's cold or to see if it's warm or to see if this selfishness is for me or to see if this entrepreneurship thing is for me. but we want to have a safety net. And the safety net in life is like those branches. If all of you went outside right now to a big tree and found a little branch, it'd be easy to break it off, right? See, that's what distraction does. That's what self-doubt does. That's what negativity and worry does. That's the branches thing. It's easy to get broken off. It's easy to say, if that's what we're trying to do, I can pull us away from our dreams. But total immersion is to sit there and tell yourself, I'm going to be the trunk of this palm tree. I'm going to be inside of this. I'm going to be, the trunk is the life. That's where everything goes. So people in life want to branch you out. They want to get you distracted. They want to get you worried about all this other stuff. But to truly immerse yourself, to say, I am all in on this. I'm jumping off that diving board. I don't care if I know how to swim. I'm going all in. I'm going to be completely covered, right? And you have to do that. And the same thing is with this mindset or anything that you do. And I will promise you right now, if you look at the areas of your life where you're not succeeding to the level that you want, I want to ask you to ask yourself this: am I immersing myself in it? And this isn't things that you want to do. Some people are just involved in things that are just wasting their time. You don't want to do it. You hate it. I can't help you there. But when it comes to the things in life you say you want to eat healthy, right? I have friends that say, hey, I want to eat healthy, but then they buy every snack in the world. I'm like, that's not immersion. That's tiptoeing the line.
Are you trying to call me out, Baylor? I'm just trying to see if you call me out. Oh, okay. I just checking.
But that's tiptoeing the line. We can't have total immersion results in life if we have tiptoe the line mentalities. So truly immersing yourself, and the best way to do that, the end in the thing, is to necessitate. And by that, it has to become absolutely necessary to you. I said if we jumped off the diving board into the deep end and we didn't know how to swim, you would have to find a way, would you not? And I think that's the beauty of immersion, the beauty of getting out of our comfort zones. You put yourself into a survival mode. If you got thrown off of a cruise ship or something like that, you would figure out how to swim because it's survival. You don't realize what you're capable of until you get in survival mode. Our problem is a lot of us are too comfortable where we're at. How many times have you stayed in a job? How many times have you stayed in a relationship? How many times have you let terrible friends stay around that you had to say, oh, well, that's just them. But the reality is you're comfortable in the situation. We can't win in life if we're comfortable in situations. And so necessitating it, making it where this is the only thing that matters. If you join the last time I was on 45, I'm really big on lions, right? I'm really big on how they hunt. And the thing that I love about these lions is they absolutely have to catch their prey. If they don't catch their prey, if these female lions do not catch the gazelle or whatever, the entire pride can die. So how, in knowing that, if you take that mindset, and I'm not, you got to wake up every day like, whatever I'm going after, I have to get it. I have to close this sale. I have to be at this meeting. I have to put a smile on my loved one's face. It is an absolute do it or die situation. Now, obviously, you're probably not literally going to die, but just imagine how much further you'll be if you attack life with that type of tenacity of when it's a necessity, you don't care about the style points. Like I said, lions aren't over here like, well, you killed the gazelle, but it wasn't that pretty. It doesn't matter. See, necessity, you think about when your back's against the wall or if you have a bill to pay and you're trying to figure out how to do it, you don't care how it gets done, right? A lot of us are not where we want to be because we're too worried about how it looks while we're doing it. We're not getting judged for spinning pirouettes in life like it's ice skating. We have to have this necessity mindset of like, man, I got to get it done regardless. I don't care how it looks like, what it looks like. I don't have time to worry about what they said, what I said. Get it done. So wonder what it could be. Immerse yourself in it totally. Like you have to buy in. Like I know a lot of people say, I'll start a business, but when you ask people, like I'm telling you, if you're an entrepreneur right now, even if it's your side hustle, and I hate that word side hustle, you say it's your first passion, it's not your side hustle. But if somebody says, what do you do for a living? Don't leave with that other job you had that you're trying to leave. That's not who you are. You're the CEO of whatever it is you're starting. And again, and that's just in the business room, in whatever it is, if your job, if you're a housewife in your house, then be proud of that. But you have to immerse yourself in it totally. Don't say, and again, I say that from experience because people used to ask, like, what do you do? I was like, well, I speak and I do some marketing and I do that. And then one day I told myself, from now on, Baylor, anybody that asks you, what do you do? Say, you're the best mindset speaker in the world. That's it. And that's all it's ever going to be. I'm never going to change that. And as a result, that's kind of that wonder. You kind of put it out there for yourself, and now you got to live up to it. So immerse yourself into that, and then necessitate it. Figure out how you can remove these distractions from your life. Figure out how you can quit worrying about being the branch and focus on being this trunk. And I promise you, if you can just get your back against the wall, especially women, y'all are strong, man. Y'all are strong. But you don't ever get to see your strength unless you actually put yourself in this position to do it. I mean, there's with my last book, there's studies of women being able to lift vehicles because their child is trapped under it. You don't realize what you're capable of. Now, none of us could walk out today and just lift a car, but if you, in a necessary situation, you could. So think about that in your business. Think about that in your career. Think about the fact that your body, this is going to genetics and this and that, is designed in a necessary fight or flight situation to perform. So the best way to push yourself to the next level is to put yourself so far in your comfort zone, so far where your back's against the wall, so far where you don't have anything to lean back on, fall back on, that you have to go forward. Wonder, immerse, necessitate.
What about on those days when you just, you don't have the energy? I mean, Baylor, I can feel your energy through the screen, but what about those days? And I'll give you a real world example too, like with some of the incidents that happen with police brutality, or when we hear about the things that are happening with COVID. Sometimes it's a bit too much. Just the world itself feels a bit much. Or you had a really bad day. You've got your first passion, but you still have to pay the bills. And you still got to deal with those people from the day job that you don't really love. How do you keep yourself, and I hate to use the word motivated, but how do you keep yourself kind of focused on this?
Well, I don't think that I think motivation, like I said, motivation is like Advil. For a couple hours, it feels fantastic, but then life hits. But what I've learned in my own life is that if I have time to be worried about what's going on in the world and all the things that can drag me down, I'm not in a necessitative state of mind. I'm not immersed. Like when you're truly immersed in it, it's like you gotta like put that bubble around yourself. And then when you think about a lion that's hungry, a lion in a necessary situation, a lot of lions don't eat for a week or two, but they could be tired. If a gazelle walks by, they can't say, man, I just don't have it in me today, because it's necessary. So I think if you're worried about all these things, your life's not, if you have time to worry about if Cardi B is divorcing Offset tonight or not, your life's good. I mean, all of us have lights right now. We're on a video. No matter how bad we think it is, we're doing really good, right? So none of us are really in a necessary type deal. So me, when I start worrying about what other people are doing, I realized I said, man, I got too much free time. And I say this, and I say this in quotes, but depression, I'm not talking about clinical depression, but the depression, the social media depression, is a first world problem. We're depressed because we have time to sit there and think about things, right? We have time to sit there and scroll through and see what everybody else is doing. So that's time that we can be spent immersing ourselves fully. So the more you get worried about the outside world, the more we have to sit and say, okay, I got to figure out how to get inside the trunk of my tree and quit worried about these branches. But how do we do that, right? And mental health is, I'm a big advocate of, and I'm not saying depression is not a real thing, but because I've struggled with it too. But I had to start getting to a point in my life where you say, where you do figure out, okay, I'm stressed out. I don't have it in me. I literally can't get myself out of bed today. I think we've all been there, right? And I was trying to figure out strategies to circumvent these things. And what's worked for me is, you've all heard it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? And we think about drinks, and that's just like, hey, here's my excuse to go get a drink. Well, what I want you to be able to do, and it's been working wonders for my mental health, is I call it me 30, right? If it's 5 o'clock somewhere, that's fine. But me 30 is what I call every day, I find 30 minutes that are me, like phone off, doing what I want to do. And you sit there and say you don't have 30 minutes, but you do. Everybody has 30 minutes. I mean, you schedule your picking up your kids from school, you schedule the meetings that you have, you schedule your hair appointments. Everybody schedules these things, and you go with things that are on your schedule. But what we never do is we never put ourselves on our own schedule. Like, if you were to look at your schedule right now, how many of those things actually are just for you? People say maybe once every few months I go get my hair or whatever. Why is that? If you're the most important piece to the puzzle of your life, because you're the only one that's always going to be in your own life, would you not schedule stuff for yourself? These 30 minutes, and again, I promise you have 30 minutes. If you look at you think you don't have 30 minutes, for those of you that think you're too busy, if you have an iPhone especially, you can go to your settings, look at your screen time, and see what you've been using on your apps. I guarantee you can find 30 minutes.
I don't even want, I didn't even know you could do that. I really don't think
it'll break it down by app, and you can see per day how much time you're spending on the phone, and cut your 30 minutes from there. And what I do on that is it's got to be what it is for you. Like, if you want to just sit there and stare at the ceiling for 30 minutes, do that. If you want to read, do that. If you want to play video games, do that. If it is mindless scrolling, the reason I say don't really get on socials is because that keeps you focused on everybody else. But things that isolate you, like I got an iPad that I don't connect to any social media devices or any alerts so that I can just read or whatever. But you owe yourself 30 minutes a day, and here's why. You're creating a path. We talked about creating a platform, right? So everybody's criticizing, saying, stay in your lane. You're over here saying, look, I'm building the road. I'm building the lanes. But in doing so, it means you got to build the gas stations too. There's no gas station on a road that doesn't exist. This is the reason you have to have these 30-minute, bless you, I sneeze. The reason you have to have these 30 minutes a day to yourself is this is you refilling yourself. This is you keeping yourself going. The reality is a lot of us are at the top of our field. Everybody's coming to us, but we can't go to anybody, right? And so in order to do that, you have to be able to be your own gas station. So this 30 minutes, don't look at this as a break. Look at this as a pit stop. You can't just run a car across America until it runs out of gas and say, well, I gave it my best. When it starts getting low, you have to fill up. And by doing this, what I realized doing it daily is keeping you from redlining, keeping you from getting it empty, keeping you from getting to that point where there's nothing you can do, where nothing can save you. You know, where you reach past that point of depression, past that point of energy, past that point when you just want to give up. We have to prevent ourselves from getting there. So schedule that. Literally find 30 minutes. If you can't find it, look through your phone, see where you're spending time, burning time. Put that 30 minutes a day where you can put your phone on silent and say, hey, I'm not available for these 30 minutes because I need it so that I can be for you. And that kind of leads me into really what this really comes down to. At the end of the day, you're all that matters. You're all that matters. And I say that from a positive standpoint. Like, you know, I'm big on those lions, but that lion that's job is to hunt for the pride. If she's not healthy, everybody dies. In your business, in your career, in your family, if you're not physically healthy, if you're not mentally healthy, if you're not, you know, spiritually and emotionally healthy, everybody suffers. So if you have this mindset of I want to help other people, the best way to help other people is to make sure that you're solid. You got to make sure that you're solid. You know, we got to, in doing that, in understanding that you're the most important cog to the whole puzzle of your life, it keeps you focused on what you need to focus on. I'm not worried about what so-and-so is doing. Like, there's enough out here, y'all, for all of us, right? And I looked up the other day because I'm over here thinking we tend to compete too much, right? And I think competition is good, but I think we're turning to a society of, it's not really competition. It's I'm sitting here watching what my competitors are doing and try to criticize what they're doing instead of focusing on what I need to do. There's enough out here for all of us. Like the Mint, the Treasury, every day in America prints $541 million every single day. That means in this 45-minute chat right here, right now, $16.9 million is being printed. If we all split that up, we're going to have at least a good lunch. You know what I'm saying? But I said to say is focusing on yourself, knowing that there's enough out here, having this necessitative mindset. Like a lion in the Serengeti is not looking over saying, man, remember that pride that we ran to at that rock, at Pride Rock not too long ago? What do you think they're doing? Do you think that they're catching gazelle? Do you think they moved on to buffaloes? Or they don't worry about that, man, because you got to worry about yourself. Not just worry, you got to focus on yourself. You owe it to yourself to be great. And ultimately what you start to realize when you bring it back together, you look at the word selfish is, you know, to want only your own pleasure. And if you do all of these things right, you start to realize your pleasure is seeing your loved ones succeed. Your pleasure is seeing that ideas you have turned into a business that serves other people. Your pleasure is in making your community and your family unit and everybody around you successful. So what you start to find is if you'll be that palm tree, it's not selfish. It's selfish to get to a selfless point. It's selfish enough to say, I love you and care about you so much that I'm not willing to settle to let you just get by, friend. I'm not willing to just settle to let my business do a little bit of good. I'm not willing to settle for me or anybody around me. I want the best for everybody, and I owe it to you. And so that's what I'm going to go do. I mean, you can take that to a spiritual standpoint, say, I'm going to go and prepare a room for you. And that's how we have to treat our lives. So I encourage you today, take that burden, bury it, make that the seed that we're going to grow on. We got to win. Wonder what it could be. Put some real time into thinking bigger than you've ever thought. Don't just think up to the clouds. Think, hey, I know there's a peak above that. I wonder what that's like. Immerse yourself in it. If you have time to worry about what everybody else is doing, that means you need to get a little bit deeper into your core, right? Until you get to a point, and you can look at the history or trajectory of anybody that's ultra successful. All of them just became fanatics, obsessive about it. That's not obsession. That's not fanatic. That's I'm immersed in it. I'm focused on it. I'm not worried about it. And then make it necessary. Figure out how you can remove distractions. How can you put yourself in a position where like, hey, this has to win. And then have that mindset of, man, I have to go up this. If I don't get this done, I die. That's how I approach this call. I'm up this morning like it's boxing practice. Like, man, if I do not execute today, my life is over. If I don't give my absolute everything to these 45 minutes, it's over for me. This could be the last speech. What if want to use the person that gets to decide who speaks in the history of all the world from here on forth, and I do a bad job? It's over for me. It's got to mean that much to you. And in doing so, you can help more people. And be sure to spend that time with yourself. Meet 30 every day and realize you matter. You're all that matters. Focus on you. That's how everybody wins.
I love that, Baylor. Can we go over, because we had some people join in late, so let's go over the acronym again. So tell us, break down WIN. And then, we're approaching, for some of us that are in the business space or thinking about life in quarters, we're approaching the final quarter of what's been, I'd say, a historic year, both good and bad, a crazy year for a lot of us. And so maybe you can leave us with, because we've got about 9 minutes, break down the acronym, and then as we approach this last 3 months of the year, what should we be thinking about?
Okay, so the acronym again is, and again, I call this the palm tree principles, right? This is about growing vertically and then spreading our leaves so that we can create shade, so that we can create fruit, provide fruit for those that we care about. Versus, you look at those little bonsai trees. You can keep a bonsai tree on your office desk. They spending all their time doing all sorts of. It looks cute, but it ain't providing shade or fruit for anybody, right? So the principle of going up as fast as you can, kind of like Oprah. Oprah now, she's to the top now. Oprah can say anything she wants, and it's a done deal. Whole world's gonna do it today, right? But doing that, I call it the WIN principle. So you have to wonder first. Wonder is giving yourself the freedom to sit there and say, what would it be like if I got to the top of my career, my profession, if my business was the best in the world? What would it be like to be the Jeff Bezos of whatever my thing is? What would it be like to have the perfect husband, wife, kids, the perfect family unit? What would it, just give yourself the option to think about, what would it be like if you work from Bora Bora every day, whatever your passion is? Next is to immerse yourself in it, and don't tiptoe. Don't sit there and say, what would it be like? It'd be cool to be that. Yeah, when I get my tax refund next year, then I'm going to pay that $300 for that Ella. Man, no, we're jumping off no kiddie pools is what immersion is. We're doing double gainers off the high dive. We don't care if we can swim. We're going to figure it out, because that's going to lead us into the necessitated. If like I said, if you're drowning in the deep end, you're going to find a way to swim, or you're going to figure out how to hold your breath and turn into a fish, whatever you need to do. So wonder what it could be, immerse yourself in it, and then make it a necessity in everything that you do. And then finally, guys, let's quit looking at, I hate Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. This is not the fourth quarter of 2020. This is the first quarter of the rest of our lives. You think anybody, someday, some ancient Mayans or somebody decided to make a calendar so they could figure out when hunting season was, right? We don't have to hunt. We can go to the store and buy food. So this whole concept of calendars, it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. This is you got to look at this next 3 months as the first quarter of you planting seeds of being a palm tree. I don't care what the calendar, I mean, if technology went away, would you have any idea what day of the deal it is? So let's quit. Let's throw that to the side, because that's just putting unnecessary stress on ourselves and saying, I got to make the best of the rest of 2020. No, what you need to do is make the best 3 months of the rest of your life starting right now. And so it's little things, y'all, that helps take this unnecessary burden, because we all feel it. Like, I got to get this. The holidays are coming up. I got to do it. I'm not where I want to be. I still got to make money. If you look at it like that, you're not going to do anything. But if you sit there and say, hey, in the next 3 months, how can I get vertical the next 3 months? How can I make my business go up in the next 3 months? How can I make my relationship skyrocket in the next 3 months so that I can set a foundation that's going to help me go to even higher levels in this quote unquote 2021?
I love that. And I think from a business perspective, it really tells us that a lot of the things that we need to do, we need to reimagine when it comes to doing business and starting a business, because we're doing a lot of our own self-sabotage. I know me especially, I'm big into planning and organizing like that, but you're right. I think it's just a mind shift. So Baylor, what's next for you? How can we all connect with you? I shared your IG, but like, what's next?
Well, so, you can connect with me on all my social medias are Baylor Barbee, but what I want to do is I want to see palm trees. Like, if you're doing some palm tree stuff, if you're wondering what it could be and you're posting on any of your social media, like I said, if post that, let people know quit hiding your dreams. If your goal is to be doing something or have a corner office in New York City, man, post that. Let people know it's going to keep you accountable. When I started telling people, I said, man, I was telling speakers that were making way more money that I'm the best mindset speaker in the world. Guess what? That drives me, because and you don't think they're not going to pay attention? Like, man, what if he's right? People are going to believe what you feel about yourself. What you feel, not what you say about yourself. People are going to believe what you feel about yourself. And so, I don't even remember where I was going with that, but that's what, so, tag me, man. Let me know your palm tree, hashtag it, palm tree.
Can I just post a big picture of Oprah?
You should.
Okay.
And say she's going to be your assistant.
Okay. That I'm about to let that marinate, but yeah, okay.
I mean, but think about like what you don't think if Jasmin today goes and posts like, I'm working so that Oprah becomes my assistant. You don't think people are going to at least keep tabs on her? They might think you're crazy, but they're like, okay, because people get nervous when people have big goals, but people follow and watch the people that have those big goals. And as a result, the things you do, you bring it, you manifest that into fruition. So let's quit being small about it. Wonder out loud, and then immerse yourself to get away from that negativity and hate that comes with it. So it's a beautiful thing. It's really a win-win situation. Jumping out there, hey guys, I'm gonna do this. Now I'm going back into my hole because I'm gonna work my tail off to make this happen. I'm not worried about what y'all are saying. By the time I pop up, I'm so far up here, y'all just down there hoping for the coconuts that I drop. But yeah, so do that. Like, tag me. Like I said, if you're doing this deal, tag me. And if I can help you in any sort of way, literally on all social medias, it's me. I will give my all to help you figure out these steps where you're at, how we can get to the next one, because the whole deal is to be like those palm trees lining the deal so that we can all grow, we can all provide fruit and make it a better world, man. The world needs us to be palm tree. The world needs us to create fruit. The world needs us to succeed. Like, we owe it to the people we care about. But let's do that.
And I know you've already written so many amazing books, and you guys can check those out on BaylorBarbee.com. He actually has a book called Wintality, so he's created his own term. What's next, though, Baylor? Can you give us a sneak peek of what you're working on next book?
Okay, yeah. I mean, y'all are the first and only to know about. So the next book, the one I'm working on right now, is called No One Prays for the Lion. And it's about, you think about it in life, like when the gazelle escapes, you watch TV, everybody cheers, and we applaud the gorillas in the jungle, but no one prays for the lion. And the lion is us. It's those of us that are out there trying to provide for our families, trying to provide for our businesses. People are coming to us with everything, and nobody realizes, man, we're stressed out too, and we got problems too. And some of these principles are in there. So I'm writing a book specifically for our group that's in here right now. It's not going to be a mass market success. Some people don't get it, but those of us that do, trying to create a blueprint strategy so that we can keep ourselves energized, keep going when we're not motivated, stay disciplined, and get to the kill or the result.
That title is fire. I cannot wait for that book. So Baylor, thanks so much as always, dropping so many nuggets for us. We try to do it in 45 minutes is to give you just something that's really meaty, not too overwhelming, but something that you can really kind of start to apply now. So I'm hoping you guys got some inspiration from Baylor, but more importantly, are able to start thinking about life and your business from this win perspective. And how can you start to convert your life or your business to this palm tree? We're here every Friday, 8:15 Central Standard Time. I always share these videos. So if you guys want to connect with me on Instagram, it's Jasmin, Jasmin Brands, Brands. And we're getting so many of these that I, of course, will be eventually rolling these out on a website so you guys can click to that. This was really kind of an informal chat, and I think it's really kind of starting to evolve into something that I look forward to every week. But we need so many different nuggets, and this life is sometimes challenging, but we can do it if we do it together. And I think having people on like Baylor provides us with the tools we need to be successful. So I hope you all have a fantastic day and a great weekend. This video will be up soon, so feel free to connect. And don't hesitate to shout out to Baylor as well. So thank you all for joining us, and I'll see you next Friday. See ya.